All right, welcome everybody. I am Cruising with Ted, and today we have the honor to have Herlan Ruiz, who is the Business Development Manager for Amawaterways Cruises. He's going to brief you on some new things and what's upcoming with Ama. You know how we're doing through the travel pause and how things are a little different now. How we're getting everything back in business. So again, you're in the right place. Thank you for joining Cruising with Ted today. Take it away. Herlan Ruiz from Amawaterways. Over to you.
Thank you, Ted. I appreciate the continued collaboration here to getting the word out on Amawaterways. Thank you, Mary Pat. Thank you, Christy, for, again, the continued participation. So, again, thank you all for joining us this afternoon on what's going to be just an opportunity to talk about who we are here at Amawaterways, talk about the family, private-owned operation, talk about the hardware, the innovations that come with the building of our ships, talk about destinations and what current promotions are in the market for us to leverage right now to take advantage of these great destinations with great offers. So on the screen, and I normally do these presentations in person, and I ask the question, who's done a river cruise and who has not? I can't see the hands raised here. But again, what you see on the screen here is a perfect optic of what a river cruise is all about. I always say oceans take you to countries, rivers take you through them. And that's what you see here. You're literally landlocked on both sides, visiting this beautiful ancient landscape on the Rhine or the Danube, the beautiful French rivers. But here you actually have the city of Lahnstein on the Rhine River. Quite a magical experience. I did this back in October of 2019, and you see constant castles and citadels up on the hilltops. The cruise manager on board giving you that beautiful enrichment talk overview of what you're actually seeing throughout this journey. But again, it's all about that culture immersive experience on the river. And here at Amawaterways, we provide you with a plethora of opportunities to really become part of that local life. It'd be walking tours, biking experiences, hiking, adventure on your own with a guided tour. And the beautiful thing here with Amawaterways, all these experiences are built into your price points. So great value when traveling with Amawaterways. So let's continue on the journey here. You see here on the screen, we're a family-owned, operated business since 2002. In fact, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. And these individuals you see on the screen here are the reason why we keep leading the way, of course, with our partners on board. But these individuals are just amazing, radiant human beings. On the left-hand side, you'll see here Rudy Schreiner. He's known as the godfather for river cruising. He, in fact, led the North American sales effort for Viking over 30 years ago. But his entrepreneur spirit said, I want to begin my own company, design my own ships. And that led him to join forces with Jimmy Murphy, which is Gary Murphy's father here sitting on a rickshaw through Mekong, to initially start the company's name as Amadeus River Cruises. And then that turned over to Amawaterways, not AMA, but Ama, derived from the Latin word for love for the rivers. Next to him is his radiant co-owner and wife, Christine Kars. Just a lot of love and passion for what she brings to the table every single day in and day out. And again, it trickles from them to the onboard way of life to those that are shoreside here working with this operation. I've been now with this company for the last 5 years, and I say I've left the best for last. It is a quite special family and operation to be a part of. And of course, Gary Murphy sitting here on the rickshaw. He in fact announced, Ted, his retirement in January. He's since pulled a Tom Brady, so he is back with us again. So we have the great leadership here at the helm. And like I said, it trickles to the onboard way of life with the crew, just bending over backwards and exceeding guest needs, not only exceeding them, but anticipating guest needs on board a ship. Quite a special synergy that the onboard departments and personnel have to really make it happen for you guys on board the ship. So again, I highlight family and private owned because it's very rare nowadays that you have a private and family owned operation in the business. And I highlight this because we're easy to do business with our partners, and that has a positive residual effect for the overall experience that our guests have on board a ship. We're also a financially stable operation. When we build our ships, we pay them off in cash. There's no leverage debt on our ship, so that's peace of mind. I think that's something very powerful to know that you are dealing and working with a financially stable company that's here for the long run and also a very intimate sized fleet. We have 23 vessels designated for the European rivers, anything for the Dutch waterways in that North Sea area, through the Rhine, down into the Main, and all the way into the Black Sea. And of course, the exotic destinations for Egypt, Cambodia, and Vietnam on the Amadara, and the Zambezi Queen for South Africa. And then you for South America in Colombia, which I'll highlight throughout the presentation here shortly. But again, we're not a jack of all trades. So we focus, and we have been focusing and mastering on the river cruise experience now for 20 years. And that's what we do best. So we're not doing the river, ocean, and expedition. Again, river cruising is the way to go when it comes to Amawaterways here and leading the other way. Again, highlighting the innovations of our ships is very important. Berlitz magazine, in fact, the author for this publication, Douglas Ward, went on board 320 river ships back in 2019 and designated us as the highest ranking when it comes to the innovations of the ships, the heavy investment to the cuisine, the opportunities you have with the exploration, with our tours, but just again, the quality and not so much the quantity of our experience is what sets us apart from the competition. One of those innovations you see here on the screen is the twin balcony features. You'll here have the best of both worlds with a true sit outside balcony on one side of the room and a French balcony on the other. The competitive set nowadays builds their rooms with floor to ceiling windows, which are nice. But again, when you open up these floor to ceiling windows to the outside elements, it'd be hot or real cold, then the entire room itself would be susceptible to the hot or cold weather. Here you have the best of both worlds with the innovative twin balcony features. Also, like I mentioned to Mary, Pat, and Christy earlier, we have the flattest draft from any of the other ships on the rivers by 5 feet. So when you hear about the low water, high water level conditions, we have the counter innovations on our ships to continue our ships moving forward in these regions there for the Rhine and the Danube. Here you'll have the beautiful optic of what these long ships look like. These are 443 feet long, 38 feet wide, comparable to what you see with our partners over at Scenic, Viking, and Avalon. But the biggest difference here with us is we have lower capacity. Our ships max out at 155 total guests versus 190 for the competition. So when you think about lower capacity, it means we have more room to play with on board a ship to offer larger staterooms, higher crew to guest ratio for optimal service on board a ship. You have a fitness center, hair salon, spa area, specialty restaurants on board our ships at no extra cost. And every single ship features a pool with the whirlpool that's heated, which is great for these Christmas markets itineraries that are coming up now during the Yuletide season at the end of the year. But again, when you think about Amawaterways hardware ships, lower capacity means more value and amenities that you can immerse in on board these beautiful, what I call floating river yachts on the other rivers. Ted, Mary Pat, do you guys have any questions for me so far in what we're seeing?
Can you go back to the thought of the issues with the high and low water? And we realize that you have a lower draft, so it doesn't have as much of a problem as some of the others. But what do you do in the event of?
So particularly this year in 2018, again, very, very severe issues with the low water level, especially on the Rhine. And again, let's keep things in perspective that these low water conditions don't happen every single year. In fact, the last big year for this was in 2018. Okay, just like here in South Florida, we're not hit by a hurricane every single year, so we got to make sure we keep things in perspective that this doesn't happen. But again, when they do, we do have the counter effect features, like I mentioned, with the 5 feet lower draft. But in this year's Rhine River, that middle part of the destination was so severe and dry that the ships couldn't continue even with the flatter drafts. So what we had to do was, for example, Amsterdam down to Basel, halfway during that cruise, we did a ship swap in the city of Krems. So we basically got everybody off one ship, just like you got them on the other ship, and then sailed down to Basel. Very seamless. We do all the heavy lifting to make it happen. And it, just to show how much the family goes above and beyond. Our guests came back raving about how seamless the experience was recently on these about 5 or 6 sailings this year that were affected. But our ownership came back and gave them a 75% future cruise credit for the slight alteration that they had to experience.
Very good.
It's unheard of, Mary Pat, to have an operator go above and beyond this way to continue to go sailing, and they can give them a credit for the future for the affected sailing. Yeah.
We do have someone that said that it gives kudos because they were on the Ama Lucia in July, and you were able to get through all the ports without any problem. So very happy client there.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the family. So again, aside from the feet of less draft, we also have these water ballast tanks on all our ships. So when the ship needs to sit higher on the water, again, water release, again, ship floats up. When there's high water level conditions, the wheelhouse where the master operates the ship, that's a hydraulic system that drops into the hull of the vessel. So again, a lot of innovation comes into these beautiful river yachts here with Amawaterways. And one of those beautiful ships is what you see on the screen here, what I call the jewel of the crown here, the Ama Magna. So she's wider capacity versus the existing long ships. So she's 443 feet long, 72 feet wide. And the wider capacity means that she's only traveling on the upper Danube and the lower Danube experience, okay? But the great thing here, Mary Pat, Christy, Ted, this is a perfect transition ship for ocean-going guests that are seeking new opportunities to immerse in this world and make those human connections. Because a lot of the time, many of these ocean-going guests have been hesitant trying river because of size of rooms or lack of amenities. No more excuses with the Amawaterways Ama Magna. The average starting size room on her, 355 square feet, full-size balconies. You have rooms all the way up to 710 square feet for the owner suites and grand suites, 4 different restaurants, 5 different bars. So again, this is a great, great starting point for first-timers and even seasoned travelers. Because I always hear folks saying, yeah, I've been on the Danube before, but my counter question is, have you been there in the spring? Have you been there in the summer? Have you been there in the fall or the winter? Every season on that river represents a different experience, meeting new people and experiences throughout. So then again, those seasoned travelers, don't shy away from doing the same river more than once and try a different ship, because the Ama Magna is definitely a destination in itself. Here's some of the beautiful optics on the rooms on board the Ama Magna. These are the SASP rooms. Again, look at that upper premium contemporary luxury feel. Think of us as a Four Seasons on the rivers. Again, quality over quantity is a big, big focus for us here at Amawaterways. Here's a beautiful owner suite, the bathroom, tub, and shower, high-end toiletries, double vanity. The majority of the rooms, for those that don't prefer the actual bathtub, this is going to be the majority of the feel and look on board with the accommodations. So you have the double vanities, high-end toiletries, the handheld, and the nice rain shower fixture there for the shower. So again, we've discussed the private family operation. We've discussed the innovations. Now, one of my favorite parts of the Amawaterways experience is the dining. And this is going to come up at a perfect time because it's right before lunchtime. So I am getting hungry. I hope you guys are as well. But again, heavy investment when it comes to the cuisine, culinary experience on board. Okay, we're the only river cruise company that's part of La Change de Rotazaires, which is a private culinary society, invitation only. You have to have the highest acumen when it comes to the quality and the preparation for the food. And Ted, I'm sure you can attest when the waiters bring over these meals, again, it's absolute masterpieces. It's tough to dig in, but again, all those aromas that are picking off that plate, you got to definitely delve in and take advantage of that. But everything market to table fresh, locally sourced. These galleys on board these ships are very small, so not a lot of room for frozen provisions. Everything is market to table fresh. And the beautiful food and wine pairings is one of our highlights. These wines on board, which are served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner endlessly and built into your price points, are all premium, and they're sourced from these regions we visit. So when we talk about culture immersive experience, not only happening ashore, but very much with the dining room experience here, with the genuine meals from these destinations you visit. For example, in Budapest, the beef goulash, or if you're in Germany with the Wiener Schnitzel, with the beautiful premium wines coming in, it's quite a highlight here with Amawaterways when it comes to the food and the wine pairing and all the drinks. Yeah, Mary Pat.
We do have another question here. Carrie commented on the Amabella, the Amaverde had a beautiful and comfortable upgrade, but it's not shown on the website. Do you know what that refers to?
So yeah, the upgrade is that front-facing area in the lounge. So the ownership in these past couple of years during the pandemic, Mary Pat, what they did is bring a lot more of an al fresco experience to a lot of these venues. And what they did on those 2 particular ships was cut the front-facing lounge maybe about a quarter of it to open it up to offer more of an al fresco lounge area. And also what we did on the sun deck area, we're bringing these large barbecue pits to cook these lobster tails and the filet mignons and the wine. So again, it's sitting up on that sun deck for me, Mary Pat, is personally one of my highlights, because again, you're sitting there seeing these beautiful ancient landscape. The cruise manager is giving you that nice overview. But again, we are bringing a lot more of al fresco. So yeah, we did make some modifications, and I think in a very positive way for those two ships. And I think moving forward for the majority of the fleet, we'll experience more of the al fresco venue upgrades.
Okay, good. And Carol Lee said, speaking of upgrades, is the Amawaterways scheduled for updating soon?
She's one of our venerable ladies. Yeah, she's one of our ships in the French River. So more intimate in size. Again, the rivers there in France are a lot smaller, narrow than they are on the Rhine or the Danube. But again, we give love to all our ships, especially the Amadante and Dolce. There for every time we're off season there in that beginning of January, February, and the early parts of March. So again, but what I mentioned with the al fresco ownership, Rudy and Christine are planning on bringing more of that enhancement for the smaller vessels and capacity in our fleet. So stay tuned for more details on that.
Good.
So you see on the screen here, a lot of the, obviously the drinks are on us. We believe about charging the initial price points with Amawaterways and not nickel and dime our guests on board the other ship. So all your drinks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, champagne, beer, wine, your specialty coffees and teas. We've added now a sip and sail cocktail hour 1 hour before dinner to make the brand a lot more inclusive when it comes to the alcoholic consumption. Then again, that sip and sail cocktail hour. But again, people are also asking for some drink packages. We are bringing drink packages in play. But like I mentioned, it's very dangerous with these meals because the wine does not stop being poured. But we now have added this extra enhancement, Mary Pat. So for those that want to do the drink packages, they can secure these prior to their sailings as well.
Good.
Yeah. And here's the multiple dining rooms that I mentioned. Again, you have that bottom left-hand corner. That's the main restaurant. Look at the beautiful, vibrant colors in the venue. You have the wine bar, the restaurant there, family restaurant type, the al fresco on that top left-hand side screen. In fact, those windows you see there in that restaurant, they come down. So to come in there in the morning and see those windows down, but the sun rising, breeze coming in, mimosa in hand, just a great way to get your day started here with Amawaterways prior to your tours. But as you see here, a lot of the influence that comes to decoration of these onboard venues comes from Christine Karst. A lot of the feedback we get from our partners and our guests is that they come on board and they feel like they're coming on board someone's home. And that's in fact what these ships are, an extension of Rudy and Christine's home on board these ships, where they get to travel about 10 to 15 times a year. So the opportunity to travel with the ownership of the company is very, very much in play. And it's quite genuine. You know, you're on board. For those that are joining us here on this call that have been with us, you know what that AMA atmosphere is all about. So we hope to bring a lot more of the guests on this call to join us in 23 and beyond.
Good. And Carrie commented that all the new changes and the new interiors and so on aren't showing on the websites, and think maybe we need to get some fresh photos.
Absolutely.
To show all the changes.
We're hearing you loud and clear. And in fact, my team here on the sales side is advocating heavy with marketing to make sure that we get all these beautiful new outfits of these enhancements on the website. All right. So we're on the same page. I promise you.
Good.
So a great way to burn down the calories is what you see here with our built-in tours. We offer up to 6 complimentary excursions at each of the destinations we visit. The competition nowadays offers 1 for free and you got to pay for the rest. Here with Amawaterways, again, seamless. You have the walking tours, biking tours, hiking experience. They're in fact offered in different modes. You have your early risers, your late risers option, but in these tours, you have your regular walking, your medium, or actually your gentle, regular, and very active experience. And Mary Pat, what I feel that we also bring as value with these tours is the size of the groups. We're sitting between 10 to max 15 guests walking with these tour guides. I've seen the competition at times in the same tour, same city, walking with 30 or 40. So when you have this more intimate setting, you in fact, grow that build relationship with the actual tour guide that's just showing off their hometown when you're there visiting. But again, the intimacy of these groups is again a great value that we bring here with Amawaterways. And one of the highlights I feel is when our cruise manager that second morning of the cruise here, she says, you can, but you don't have to. Beautiful thing here is you can explore with our guided tours, you can explore on your own, or you can just stay on board the ship and enjoy the parallel program that we have with the wellness instructors. So if you want to do some champagne yoga on the pool deck, we can make that happen for you. You see a continued theme here, Mary Pat, champagne, and wine.
A little bit of everything there.
Yeah, it's definitely keeping you guys happy and definitely with the wine and champagne. But again, the beautiful thing here, this program is also inclusive with the other price points. no extra cost. Again, what I like to call the luxury of more with Amawaterways is built-in programs offshore and on board. Here's another shot of the Zen Wellness Studio on board the Amamagna. Look at the Zen Wellness Studio here with the gym. On the Amamagna, it's a little bit larger capacity, about 25 total guests, more intimate in size on the smaller vessels. But we definitely see the folks taking care of that mind, body, and soul on board the ships here with Amawaterways. The pool and the whirlpool, which is heated. Like I mentioned before, this is great for our Christmas markets itineraries that are coming up right now. Tend to begin in that tail end of November after Thanksgiving, all the way towards Christmas Eve. But it's great to see our guests coming out of their rooms with the terry cloth robes, drink in hand, getting a dip into that water. But again, leaving that water to go back to the room, a different story during the Yuletide season. But it's great to have this added feature and amenity on board of ships for guests to enjoy. So just to recap, Mary Pat, so we talked about the, again, Amawaterways family, talked about the innovations, discussed the onboard value that we bring with the cuisine and the tours. Now, this is the world of Amawaterways that you see here on the screen. All the blue lines you see there represent 8-day, 7-night itineraries. Our journey is actually beginning that tail end of March for the Dutch waterways, Netherlands and Belgium, round trip out of Amsterdam experiences. They continue down on the Rhine for the captivating and enchanting experience there from Amsterdam down to Basel, Basel back up to Amsterdam, the Main cruises, the Upper Danube from Wilshofen, Germany over to Budapest. This is my first cruise 5 years ago with my wife, and gotta say I'm hooked. After that experience. The fact is that on the Danube, you can visit up to 5 countries. In fact, you can visit 5 countries in those 7 days, and it's quite special. And also the lower Danube from Budapest into Giurgiu, Romania. Can't forget, of course, those 3 main rivers of France for their Bordeaux, place for those rich Merlot wines, the upper Burgundy, lower Burgundy region there for the Saône and the Rhone, and also the Seine and Paris experience there for the Paris and Normandy experience there for the northern part of France. Keep in mind, guys, the 80th anniversary for D-Day is happening in 2024. Obviously, we know the landing took place in June. We are going to be designated a specific special sailing for that year in that region, but the whole entire year itself would be in celebration of the 80th anniversary. So I'm putting that out there, Mary Pat. There's some special programs in play for the 80th anniversary, the D-Day landing there for Paris and Normandy for 2024. Of course, our journeys also continue down for Portugal and Spain. We have 2 ships designated for that part of the world on the Almavita and the Amadoro, with some land extensions into Salamanca, Madrid, and Toledo. And you also have your exotic destination, South Africa, for the Chobe River, Zambezi Queen. You also have the Mekong experience from Saigon, Maito into the Cambodia Angkor Wat region. We're happy to report that, in fact, this is the week that the Mekong experience is turning back on. She's been on hiatus or obviously locked down for the past 2.5 years. So we're happy to report that this program is back online with us.
Well, good. On that note, let's ask the question that's on everybody's mind with all these exciting opportunities there. Where do we stand on COVID and policies and protocols and so on?
Great question, Mary Pat. And obviously, paramount importance is always the safety, security, and the health of our partners and guests on board. So again, we are always following the restrictions that are in play with the countries we visit. Vaccines were obviously required, a requirement to travel with us in the 21 and the early part of 22. The restrictions have been a little bit more lax. So we are now welcoming non-vaccinated guests, but they do have to test 48 hours before the start of the Amawaterways service to join us, okay?
Is that just the non-vaccinated people test, or is it everyone still testing?
Everybody right now is going to be testing, but more of a scrutiny for those that are not vaccinated. Again, we're going to keep everybody safe and healthy throughout. But again, we're in a better position now than we were, a couple years ago with the heavy restrictions with these visits. So there's no mask wearing for the guests on board either. But you're still going to continue to see the onboard crew and staff have the face cover throughout the entire journey. Okay, but right now we are accepting and actually looking at welcoming non-vaccinated guests, but again, they do have to go through a process of the testing before they come on board a ship as well. Okay. So on the slide here, I forgot to mention Egypt. So we actually launched our Egypt program in September of 2021. So much success with this program here that we're actually launching a second ship the Amalilia in 2025. All right, this is a very unique program, 11-night cruise tour, 7-night round trip out of Luxor on the Amadalia, but you have 3 nights at the Four Seasons residence there in Cairo before the cruise, and then 1 night post as well. Our Belgium and Holland itineraries are beautiful, so anybody into that horticultural experience, the tulip time season, the Keukenhof garden visit, that's just prime location for that tail end of March. I'd say more for the beginning of April all the way through beginning of May to really appreciate what these bulbs have to showcase there with those vibrant colors in that beautiful region. We also have, of course, what I mentioned, the Danube and Rhine River cruise experiences. Again, 8-day, 7-night cruises, but we are seeing a nice trend of longer journeys. We're calling it revenge travel, Mary Pat. So folks want to spend more time on board the ship, spend higher on the suites and the balconies to really enjoy their experience. But we can, in fact, put up to 1,800 total combinations of these longer journeys throughout the European rivers. And we do all the heavy lifting when it comes to the logistical components of getting from one ship to the other, from the hotel to the ship, hotel to the airport, vice versa. Again, we do all the logistical connections to make that happen. And of course, trust your advisors here with Ted, Mary, Pat, and Christy to really put you in the right direction to maximize the great experience with Amawaterways and what we have to bring to the table. Okay.
Herlan,
yes.
I just wanted to remind anybody if they have any questions to put them in the chat. I don't know if anybody else has questions.
I do, and I have another one for Herlan.
Sure.
Oh, okay, sorry to interrupt you, Herlan.
It's okay, Ted.
Herlan, you mentioned the D-Day sailing. One of our clients, Carol Lee, would like to know where can we find information on that?
So our 24 itineraries are up on the site already. You'll see there's going to be several itineraries there for the Seine. I think there's, in fact, one on June 6th. So again, check the other website. But like I said, the entire year for 24 is going to be in celebration of the 80th anniversary for the D-Day. Okay. Yeah. So again, the journeys you see here on the screen, beautiful Paris of Normandy, Esses of Burgundy, in Provence. In fact, that shot of that image of Colors of Provence, I thought that was an artist rendition, but that is a real live image of those fragrant lavender fields. And in fact, one of the highlights, I'm told, because this is a bucket list item for me, my colleagues just share this and I get real jealous, is that you can do bike riding experiences through these beautiful lavender fields there for the Colors of Provence experience. And again, of course, we're the optimal river cruise company when it's doing the wine cruise immersive experiences. We just, in fact, announced yesterday during our Sip and Sail virtual meeting, we're having a 28-day French collection to come in and play, Mary Pat, for 23 and 24. So 28 days doing doing the Bordeaux, doing the northern, southern Burgundy. So very excited about this great immersive wine cruise program we're launching very, very soon.
Another question for you. Is Amawaterways supplying luggage tags?
Yeah, we're bringing the luggage tags again. With the price points, we want to make sure that they get a full rounded experience, before they get to their cruise, during their cruise, and then when they return. But the luggage tags are back. Okay. I know there was a luggage tags in the prior years before the pandemic with a nice, beautiful pouch. We are working with our fulfillment center to make sure we bring this pouch back, but the luggage tags are there. I personally sailed on the Alma Magna in August and I got my tags. So I was happy, showing those off on all my suitcases, walking around the airport. But again, the luggage tags are definitely back. Yeah, that's one of the
another question. Well, actually, it's a statement. Carolyn, who's one of our Cruisin with Ted agents that had trouble getting in, she has said that one of her clients did the bike riding and it was the highlight of their trip. So you're not alone in that.
Awesome. So more affirmation that truly is a great experience. So I can't wait to make it happen myself. Thank you, Carolyn. So on the screen, you see the Douro, great region for those port wines. Again, a continued program for the wine immersive experience in this region as well. The Douro is a cruise at 7 days round trip out of the city of Porto. But here with that Portugal Douro experience, you have Lisbon as a pre and post package. I mentioned the other cities in Spain as well. But this cruise, I'm told, is a very scenic bound experience. And what you see there on the screen with these vineyards just lined up on the riverbanks, is quite The majority of the scenery you see throughout that journey, it's quite special. The ships, the Amavita and the Amadoro, very intimate in size, only 100 guest capacity. So it is a quite special experience there on the Doral as well. Like I mentioned, immersive wine experience. In fact, we go here with the partnerships with the likes of Robert Mondavi, the Silver Oak Wines, the Wagner family for the Camus wines. And these wine hosts come on board and give beautiful enrichment talks about the old world versus the new world blend of wines, American versus the European. We go into private vineyards and cellars throughout the destinations here, wine tasting ashore, wine tasting on board. And the beautiful thing here, Mary Pat, with this wine cruise experience, no extra cost. Okay. So if you identify anything in our collateral website, wine cruise experience is yet another layered experience for you guys to enjoy. And I hope you see a nice consistent theme. No extra cost is what we're all about here.
A couple more questions for you, Herlan. They're keeping you busy.
I love it very much.
When do we receive the luggage tags?
So once final payment is made, once final payment is made 90 days before the start of service, roughly within 30 to 45 days before the cruise, you receive your pre-cruise package, and that will include your luggage tags. Okay. If you're having any issues with them being delayed, obviously reach out to your advisor, and then they'll in turn reach out to us, and we'll communicate with our internal departments to get that sent your way. But normally it's that 30 to 45 day time frame in order for these beautiful luggage tags to be received.
Okay, another question for you on solo travelers. Does AMA have any special offers for our great solo?
Absolutely. You know, we're a family business, not only looking out for groups in our couples, but again, very much for our singles. We have a very aggressive pricing program in play. I've seen as low as 110% single supplement. The majority of the cruises we do offer at 125% supplement. The key thing here, Mary Pat, is create the urgency with this type of clientele to make sure they book as early as possible. Because again, the pricing program is capacity controlled. Right. So once we sell out a certain amount of rooms within that sailing, then that supplement is going to increase. For the most part, it can probably even get waived. So we want to make sure that the solo guests do come and join us on board, take advantage of that, but they have to book early. And the beautiful thing is that the solo guests have a private cocktail party on board the ship. They also have the opportunity to dine with the captain and the officers on board, a return back home party as well that's designated on board the other ship. So again, we love our solo guests and looking forward to welcoming them all on board our ships. Good.
Eileen, give me a call and we'll talk about that.
Awesome. So this is one of the highlights. Again, I've been advocating for the company to get me on one of these itineraries, soon. So I'm thinking by 23, this is going to happen. My wife and I love the Yuletide season, anything that has to do with Christmas. So again, just to see these markets come to life, we're so happy to have them back fully operating. Again, there's some markets in 21 and 20, obviously, with the pandemic that were completely closed. But we're happy to report that the majority, 99% of them, are back online and offering this great immersive experience there through the Danube and also for the Rhine. One of the highlights is of course on the Rhine, Strasbourg, Cologne, Germany. Your visits on the Danube there for Nuremberg has one of the oldest markets dating back to about 660 AD. Of course, the Vienna markets experience, Regensburg, Heidelberg over in the Rhine as well. So again, quite an amazing experience for those that really love the Yuletide season. What I'm told, Mary Pat, is to make sure anybody traveling on these cruises to make sure their credit cards are at a zero balance because the opportunity to buy these little trinkets and gifts for friends and family back at home is definitely in play there. But again, great opportunity for guests to enjoy. And this again it does begin that final week of November after Thanksgiving, running all the way towards Christmas Eve. You will have your residual markets experience pre or post, but again, the core markets experience is in that time frame after Thanksgiving and before Christmas Eve.
And I'll tell you, I had the opportunity to live in Germany for 18 years. So I can't do without Christmas markets. So I will be there in 46 days.
Excellent. Oh, I'm happy for you. A little jealous, but I'm happy for you.
And taking an empty suitcase with me.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's what Diane, my colleague up in Orlando, mentioned the same thing. Zero balance on the credit card, but the extra empty suitcase to bring all the trinkets back at home. Exactly. So Mary Pat, on the screen here, we see one of the first of our exotics that we offer. I did this experience back in 2018. For me personally, it was a life-changing experience. understanding what happened here over 5 decades ago. But this culture there is so rich, not by the tangibles, but just the love of life and family. They want to know so much about you as much as you want to know about them. And the immersive experience with the culture not only happens ashore, but the crew on board is all from Cambodia and Vietnam. So it's quite a special experience. A long haul to get there, so I recommend business class or premium, but definitely a life-changing experience for this part of the world, which again, I'm happy to report is turned back on starting now for actually embarked the 17th. So our first journey back for the Mekong started October 17th. The Chobe River here is the South Africa experience that we offer on the Zambezi Queen. I promise you that boat you see there on that bottom screen is not the Zambezi Queen. This is actually a small boat that picks up guests from the ship, takes them closer to the gaming in that part of the world. For geography purposes, you're looking at Chobe River in that basin between Botswana and Namibia. The cruise itself is only 5 days, 4 nights, but up to 20 nights when you incorporate the African safari components of the programs. So visits into Kruger National Park, Cape Town, South Africa, Johannesburg. There's a Rovos Rails component over Victoria Falls. One of the programs, in fact, extends all the way to Tanzania for the Serengeti. We're bringing back a Rwanda silverback gorilla trekking program into 23. So for those that are looking for adventure, this is quite a special program for you guys to take advantage of. And our partners here, Mary Pat and Christy and Ted, are very well versed, not only in their European programs, but also for exotics. So again, you're going to be in great hands, not only for what they bring in programs, for the value and the amenities, but again, the service that they bring to the table as well. So thank you guys for that. So the third of our programs is the new Secrets of Egypt and the Nile. Again, 11-night cruise tour, 7 nights round trip out of Luxor on the Almadalia. You actually have an opportunity to visit the temple of Abu Simbel. That is going to be an additional cost of $250 per person for that extension. But again, for the $250, it's well worth the investment to add that extra layer of experience in that part of the world. But you'll see on the map here, you have the opportunity to add some pre and post components with the 11-night cruise tour as well. So Abu Dhabi and Dubai, Amman and Petra, Jordan, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem as well. So this is a great program that, in fact, so much success that we're, like I mentioned, adding a second ship here for the 2025 season.
Herlan, so you know, we have a client who is here with us today that is doing that exact Secrets of the Nile with the pre and post. Yes.
Very nice.
Harry will be doing that soon.
Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to having you on board, and that you see on the screen is going to be your home away from home for those 7 days in that beautiful Dahlia. And you'll see, again, very unique, a very authentic decor and feel for the onboard experience. I mean, you feel like you're in a Bedouin tent on board this beautiful river yacht sailing through the Nile. So again, we're looking forward to having you on board the ship, and many of those that are attending with us this afternoon as well. So announcing the new river. So again, we're innovating one continent at a time. So South America is going to be the new region we're visiting. Here, we're going to actually have 2 ships navigating the Magdalena River from Barranquilla, Cartagena. There's going to be about 500 miles of navigation in this part of the world. Not a lot of details in play now, other than announcing that we will be here, hopefully by the tail end of 24, beginning of 25, with 2 ships designated for this part of the world. The ship itself would be very intimate in size, only about 65 total guest capacity. Told there's a lot of UNESCO World Heritage sites to visit there in Cartagena and throughout the rivers. So more details to come very, very soon for you guys. So Mary Pat, any more questions? I see about 33 in the chat room. I love the engagement. So any sort of questions you wanna share with me, I'm here for it.
I think we've gotten most of them, unless anybody has a last minute question they want to type up there. We've covered a lot of the important things.
Mary Pat, did we take up the solo question?
Yes, we did.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we did get that one.
Yeah, so Mary Pat, you see our 7-river journey. So the success the ocean-going vessels are having with the World Cruise, we have our own take of it now here with Amawaterways, calling it the 7-river journeys. We have our first edition of this taking place in the spring of next year, followed by the summer and then fall. And we just announced our 24 itinerary on the Amamora for 45 nights, including the Black Sea Delta and a visit into a southern city in Moldova. We never visited that part of the world, but again, just unique and authentic experiences, and that's going to be very exciting. That we're offering that experience starting next year. So this is again 46 total nights visiting up to 13, 14 total countries throughout. So again, reach out to our partners here with Ted and Mary, Pat, and Christy to really, put you in the right direction on how we can, capitalize and take advantage of these longer journeys on board these 7 river cruises. The flexibility and peace of mind programs that we had in the pandemic years, we bring in, we're keeping it online here. So again, for those that are investing with us, just know that your investment is protected with a cancel for any reason provision. We call it the Travel Waiver Plus. In the pandemic timeframe, we were allowing guests to cancel at least 1 day before the cruise and receive the future cruise credit that they could apply up to 2 years after their canceled cruise. Now the program is still in play, but now you can cancel up to 31 days before the start of the Amawaterways service. And if you do cancel for any reason, including COVID-related items, then you will be receiving that future cruise credit that can be applied up to 2 years after that cancellation takes place. Okay. But I'm very excited. I mentioned this to Mary, Pat, and Ted. We just announced October 1st, the complimentary land package for European, Mekong, and Egypt itineraries for the remainder of the season, all of 23, and that first part of 24 as well. So here you have a free land package opportunity, again, when you reserve anything in 23 for Europe, Mekong, or Egypt. And then you also have, within a group environment that we're working with Mary, Pat, and Ted on, an opportunity to increase the overall value with some aggressive pricing. But again, that beautiful, beautiful complimentary land package is in play, running through the end of this year. So that, in a nutshell, guys, is my presentation. Hopefully, I was able to share my passion for this great company that I'm a part of. I don't consider that I work a day of my life because I love what I do every single day and who I do it with. And of course, I can't forget about the support that Mary, Pat, Ted, and Christy bring to the table. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at. And of course, our guests that sail with us every single year. So thank you so much for spending that time with us this afternoon. And as a thank you, what I want to do is anybody participating during this session, I'm going to extend an additional $100 off as a thank you savings for any new reservations that are made today or up to 2 weeks after this virtual event. And that $100 per person savings is combinable with any of the retail promotions that are in the market now, including the complimentary land program. So Mary, Pat, again, thank you. Ted, thank you. Christy, thank you so much. And for all of you joining me, thank you so much.
Thank you, Herlan.
All right, thank you so much. We're very, very blessed to be able to spend this day with you guys. Amawaterways is an amazing company. River cruising is the best. So we just want to, thank you. We are crusingwithed.com. We are your bespoke vacation specialist, first in service, second to none. Since the turn of the century, we have successfully assisted tens of thousands of discerning travelers just like you. We offer insider, sorry about the spelling, access to travel deals on all major vacation vendors. And we partner with all the major cruise lines, even the small cruise lines, land packages, tours, air. We help with everything. We're ready to satisfy all your travel needs. So whether it be expeditions, airlines, whatever you need, we have 15 years of seasoning. No vacation is too big or too small for us to help with. So, we really, really want to thank you for being here today. Hold on one second. So, we're here to make sure that your vacation goes right. A lot of people, they're used to doing the vacation on their own, but they don't realize that, we can offer extra perks, and we have everything right here on one website. It's crusingwithed.com. So everything you need is all there in one place. And this is our Facebook page, Cruising with Ted. Every day we post more information about small ship cruising like Amawaterways and other cruise lines. We also have a Facebook group, Amawaterways. We have over 23 Facebook groups. We have over 40,000 Facebook followers. Okay. So, we have tremendous information, tremendous experience. So we're all here to help you with whatever you need on your vacation. So here's, we all have been on river cruises, Amawaterways, other cruise lines. So, some of us have been to, dozens and dozens of countries, speak other languages. As you can see here, we offer extra credits on Amawaterways and all the cruise lines. We've all, been on cruises like this, river cruises. There's me and the chef's table. That's me with I went to a Mozart concert in Vienna. There's me in front of Saint Stephen's Church in Vienna. As you know, Herlan, I was a guest of Amawaterways recently, correct? So, we really know what you're in store for. The thing about Amawaterways is it's very personal, very, very amazing service. They're a boutique cruise line, but they're not too small to offer you all the amenities of the larger cruise lines offer. So, everything they have is right there. They include so much. They include so many excursions. They include drinks. Everything is packaged perfectly, so you don't have to pay much out of pocket. So there's our phone number to contact us. We are Cruisin with Ted. There's our hello at cruisinwithted.com, and all of our agents have put their information in there today. So if you have any questions, you need anything in the future, please reach out to us for our special services, our extra credits, and our amazing service and experience. So thank you so much, Herlan, for attending today. Did you want to say anything else?
Just thank you guys for the time spending here with us this afternoon, and Ted, again, continued collaboration. I appreciate that support. Again, teamwork to make that dream work. So thank you so much for the continued engagement, guys.
Okay, Mary Pat, anything you want to add?
No, just really great having everybody here. If you have any questions, give us a call. That's what we're here for, is to answer your questions.
And Christy?
The only other thing I wanted to add is, we're all travel agents, and we are able, there's pre and post cruise options offered through AMA. But some people, that are, especially the retired people, they like to arrive, 1 to 2 weeks early and really spend time in the country. We can coordinate all that for you. With the pre and post cruise has limits to, the amount of days that they can offer you prior to your cruise. But if you want like a custom trip or private tours, we can handle all of that for you. So if that's something you're interested in and you have the time to go travel for a couple weeks, we're more than happy to take care of all the details from beginning to end, for that, as well as get you booked on the cruise.
All right, thank you so much, Christy. Thank you for attending today. This is Cruisin with Ted and Amawaterways signing out. Keep sailing. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.